Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us today for the State Cup draw and the for the U15 through U18, both boys and girls. Couple things. If you're not already muted, if you could go ahead and mute yourself. But at some point, if you want to ask a question at any point during the presentation, feel free to do so. We'll make sure we get it answered, or you can put it into the chat and I can go ahead and I'll check the chat periodically. But any kind of questions, all questions are welcome for today. It is 2021, thank goodness. I know 2020 was a difficult year for a lot of us. And we're still in a situation where we're having to be very flexible and make options and alternative plans for all of our events that we're hosting, including the State Cup and the President's Cup. So my biggest responsibility to all of you is to make sure that I communicate regularly, that we at MSYSA communicate regularly with you to make sure you know what's going on as far as the schedule is concerned and how we're going to move forward with this. So that's kind of what the program is about today besides the draw. To start out though, this past week, a lot of you know that Flo Egan retired to be closer to a family in New Jersey.
He didn't use his bracelet after 4 class. He used it, I think he used it.
So the board of directors did appoint a new executive director. He is not new to the state, has been with us before. And so I'm going to ask him to maybe say a few words before we start the program today. Our new executive director is Greg Smith. So Greg, do you have a few things you want to say?
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Brad. I trust everyone is doing well. Happy New Year. Like Brad said, it is 2021. Thank goodness. We're all grateful to be done with 2020. And on a personal note, I couldn't be happier to be back with all of you. As the chat room was being populated, I was looking at the participant list, and there are so many names that are so familiar, and it's just good to be back home. But before I turn it back over to Brad, I do just want to say a few things. Number one, thank you all so much. Thank you for all that you do every day to grow the game, whether you're a coach, you're a referee, you're a player, you're a parent who supports your player. It's all of you that make all of this possible. And it's only because of you that we are all here, and we're here absolutely to serve you and to give you as many opportunities to develop and improve as possible. On that note, I just also want to say thank you so much to Brad. As you know, he does a phenomenal job running the cups here for Maryland State Youth Soccer. So fortunate to have him, and he's got the full board of directors that support him, as well as the entire office staff in the state office. So as you see Brad out at the fields and you see him busy running everything, be sure to just say thank you, because it's a tremendous amount of work and he does a phenomenal job. And we're so fortunate to have him in that role. Lastly, this 2021 is our 45th anniversary. You're going to hear a lot more coming out about that. We could not be more excited to start getting people excited about the game and participating in the game. If you aren't doing so already, please do log on to Twitter and follow us. Our tag is @MSYSA. Do the same on Facebook. You can find us by searching Maryland State Youth Soccer Association. Let's keep moving forward together. Let us know what we can do for you. And thank you so much. Looking forward to seeing you all on the field.
Thanks, Greg. Really appreciate it. And welcome back to MSYSA. Really quickly, though, I do want to remind you that the entire program today, along with the draw, is recorded. And so that we will have that up on the MSYSA website beginning on Tuesday. So if there's any questions, if you forget about where you're seated, any of the information that we're covering, then that will be up starting on Tuesday on MSYSA website. I did send out, I tried to be a bit proactive this time, and I did send out a copy of the PowerPoint presentation that we're going to be putting up here as far as the program today. So you had a chance to look at it, and hopefully it'll make more sense as we talk about it. The first thing that has come up, and the first thing I want to talk about, are the dates for the 15 through 18. So a couple issues that we're dealing with, and as we talk about trying to be proactive and be flexible, is the fact that we have a couple things that are working against us or with us at this point. The first thing is we're trying to avoid having any conflicts or any type games, scheduling state cup games when they were having the high school spring season here in Maryland. So that we decided we would start the older boys and girls in February. They would then take a break during the high school season and then come back when that was completed. But there's a couple things that may be an issue with that. Number one is we don't know if state or local laws will allow us to start in February. As it stands right now, in the state of Maryland, you can only have 25 people at a game. And that's not enough for us to hold state cup games when we talk about players, coaches, referees, and parents, which clearly we don't want to say to anyone, if we can help it, would be our last resort, that parents cannot attend. They want to come, they want to see their players play. We understand that. I, of all people, after coaching for such a long period of time, know that. So we'll need to kind of follow what the state and local laws are. Right now, the numbers are pretty high in Maryland. So if I had to guess, I'm going to say that it's probably better than 50-50 that we won't be able to play any games in February, and we're going to have to push back the start of the state cup for the older teams. If all of you remember on one of the webinars, and I think it's still up on the MSYSA website, I provided 3 options. One option would be to start games in February. One option would be to start games in April. And one option would be to start games in May. And the format would be different depending upon when we started. Again, we'll have to be flexible as we go, and we'll have to do a good job of communicating with all of you so you know exactly where it is. As we stand today, we are still going by the first option, which means that the play-in games would start the weekend of February 6th and 7th. So as we do the draw today, as I do my planning in the next week, that's what I'm going under. But again, with the assumption that I'm not so sure that's going to work. The other thing that's going to come in is there going to be a spring high school season from the fall? Right now, that is scheduled from February 13th through April 17th. That's the time frame that the fall is supposed to be going. I don't know if the majority of counties will still follow that and still have games. Most of them have now gotten to the point where they've canceled winter sports, which is the time frame that we're in now. I also don't know if school's not back in session, will they still allow sports? That's a big question mark in a lot of the counties. If the spring high school season was to be canceled, we would then push back the games in February, and those for the 15th through 18th, and those would start in March, kind of like on our old schedule. So as you can see, as the schedule here, which is probably the most important, the play-in games for the boys, there are no play-in games for the girls because of the numbers. The play-in games for the boys, that's scheduled for the weekend of February 6th and 7th. Then the round of 16, girls and boys, is the weekend of February 20th and 21st. And as we do the draw, I will tell you what seeds will play on what weekend. Okay? And then you can also see, please pay attention that schedule consideration forms are due, like for the boys, they're due by January 20th, which is next Wednesday. And again, what would you consider on the schedule consideration form? If there's a problem with the weekend, like I've already heard from a couple teams that if we play February 20th and 21st, that's the ODP friendlies in Williamsburg. Their team couldn't play that weekend. So you would fill out a form for that. Do you coach multiple teams? Then you would put that on the form so that makes sure that I did different times. Thirdly, do you have any issues with a particular Saturday or Sunday where it would affect the majority of your players or your coaches? Again, you can fill that out, and I'll try to honor that as much as I can. Again, please remember that let's say that FC Frederick puts in a request and they're playing SAC, and they have opposite requests. One says, I can't play Saturday, I can only play Sunday. The other one says, I can't play Sunday, I can only play Saturday. The date that we would use in case there's ever a situation is Sundays. So if there's ever a situation where we can't honor the consideration, the game would be played on a Sunday. Okay. Next, the next dates are set. Again, it's with the idea that we would come back in April. And again, these you can look at. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these. These include the quarterfinal round robin games for the girls. Again, on that weekend for the girls, the 24th and 25th of April, that's 3 games on the weekend. For 12 through 16, that's a game on Saturday and a game on Sunday for the 17s and the 18s. So you're going to want to clear that weekend for league games. For the boys, your quarterfinal weekend right now is May 1st and 2nd. Again, I would look at that and say, I need to clear that weekend as far as league games. And then you can see the 3rd round game for the 17 and 18s is the weekend of May 8th and 9th. You would play just 1 game that weekend. The semifinals are scheduled for the following weekend, May 15th and 16th. Again, you would either play Saturday or Sunday. And then the finals are on Sunday, June 6th. So are there any questions before I move on from dates? Any question about dates and what we're thinking right now?
It's Anthony Robinson who's gone in very heavily here. One up for the quarter, and it's a straight.
Okay, none, which is great. That means I actually explained it fairly well, so that's good. Is there someone trying to ask a question? No. Okay, let's move on. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. Is there a question? Okay, move on. So next thing, just to talk about play-in game requirements. For the games in February, I'm in the process of trying to secure some turf fields to play the weekend of February 6th and 7th and the weekend of February 20th and 21st. If your club is able to get time at it must be a turf field, and you can schedule at least 2 games at a site, which means a time of 4 hours, then we will allow teams, we give the home team the first shot, but we will allow teams to host play-in game matches and round of 16 matches in February. Again, I'm in the process of trying to get fields also for those 2 weekends to make sure we have enough to hold those games. Again, the games must be scheduled on turf fields. You don't have to worry about communicating with each other because the dates are set, and I'll use your scheduling consideration forms to determine whether it's Saturday or Sunday. The other thing I want to remind you is that any boys team that loses in the play-in round, they can drop to the President's Cup if they want. The only caveat to that is that right now I have the schedule set up so that the play-in round games from the boys are done before the draw for President's Cup. If we start pushing things back, that may not be the case because we may have to have already had the draw for President's Cup. But we are going to try to do that if we can stick to the schedule that we currently have. So any questions about play-in games or the round of 16? Okay, and then the next slide just basically gives you an idea of how the competition format works. It goes play-in rounds, which is not listed, round of 16, which is single elimination, quarterfinals, which is round robin, 2 brackets of 4, semifinals, single elimination, the top 2 from each bracket from quarterfinals advance, and then the finals. The champion then would advance to the Eastern Regional Championship, which this year is in New Jersey at the EDP complex. We also tell people all the time that Maryland will be receiving some wild cards, and so that there are instances where the runner-up from our state cup can also advance to the Eastern Regional Championship. Also, just as a reminder, if a team wins Maryland State Cup, and they also win a national conference, which is managed by EDP, they would go as the state cup champion, and we would take the second place team from the EDP conference. Next, competition notes. Again, as part of your fee, your registration fee, and again, the registration fee stayed the same from last year, was $565. At the end of the deadlines for all of the competitions, we will then do an invoice to the clubs. On the invoice, we will include the credit that from last year, and then either we will owe you some back or you'll owe us some additional depending upon how many teams you have in the competitions this year. The $565 registration fee covers your first match, so you don't owe any additional payments for the first match. After that, then it's $175 per match. That is in addition to the referee fees that you pay in cash on the field. And I'll send those fees out to you. There was no change from last year to those referee fees. Your additional game payment can either be paid by credit card online by Thursday of the week of the game, or credit card or check at the game site. Either way is fine. The referee fee must be in cash and must be at the game site given to the referee before the games begin. We've already kind of talked about the game schedule consideration form. Remember again that Sunday is the default day. So if there's a consideration of a Saturday, consideration of a Sunday, we would use default. The new check-in procedure, as you know, in the past, when we got to round of 16 and above at the Soccerplex and at Carson's Run, the whole team would have to come to the tent and check in 1 hour prior. What we're going to do now is only a team representative from each team checks in at the headquarters 1 hour prior. The home team will serve as a field marshal for that game, and the referees will check the players in on the field before the match. I think this is a little bit easier. We're going to try it. We were going to try it last year. We didn't get a chance. I think it's much easier on the teams. So we're going to try it. We'll see how it goes, and hopefully we can stay with that. The last thing on the notes is to talk about the suspension list. I'm going to ask you to please make sure that you go on to the MSYSA website under competition and cups and look at the suspension list. There are some suspensions that are left over from 2019 since we didn't play last year. Those suspensions are still in force. And so it is your responsibility, not MSYSA. It is your responsibility to make sure that you do not have a player on that list that plays in the first round game. If there's any questions, you can always call me. If you feel like there's an issue with the list, you can call me and we'll investigate and make sure that we have the correct information available. Next, these are the referee fees. I didn't realize that I had this on there. So this tells you the referee fees that are due in cash at the field. The 12U, this year, the only change to their rules is that they will play 30-minute halves instead of 35-minute halves, and that's why they have a little bit of a reduced referee fee. The reason for this change is that we are trying to get our state cup rules in line with the regional rules. So at the regionals, they play 30-minute halves, so we thought we would do that for state cup also. Next, just a couple of rule reminders. For 15s and 16s, on the weekend that we have the round robin quarterfinals, on the days that you play 2 games in one day, which will be either Saturday or Sunday, we will have unlimited substitution for that day. The day that you play 1 game, you will have the limited substitution, which is if you come out of a game during that half, you cannot re-enter, and that includes overtime as well. Also remember again, head injury. If a player is suspected of suffering a head injury, they can be substituted. They'll be evaluated by a trainer on site without the substitution counted against the team's total number. So as an example, let's say that Sean Fleming is playing. They suspect him of a head injury. They would take him out of the game and we could substitute for Sean. The trainer would then look at Sean, determine if he could re-enter or not. If he can re-enter, he can go back in the game, and the player that came in for Sean comes out. That does not count as one of his substitution. If Sean comes out and he cannot play, then that player that was substituted in does count and would just stay in the game. The other part of this, which always comes up, is let's say that Sean comes out of the game and his team has used all of their substitutions for that half. They cannot make a substitution for Sean in that situation. They have to have at least a player on the team bench that has not been in the game yet for that half. Next, leggings and undershirts. Remember, we changed this last year to make it easy. If you are the home team, you wear light uniforms. Your light uniforms. For most teams, that's white, but it could be a gold or a light color. If you're the home team, as far as leggings and undershirts, it must be white if you're the home team. There are no other colors you can wear. For the visiting team, they wear dark colors for the game. And again, their leggings and undershirts can either be black or match the color of their uniform, either one. But please note, the reason we have this set is that we want you to know before you get to the game, 99% of the time, that you know what color you're going to wear so you can let your team know ahead of time. Transfers. So again, remember, you're only allowed 5 transfers for this year to be on your roster for State Cup competition, NCS. If you move a player from within your club, let's say you have a red team and they're not playing, and the blue team is playing in State Cup. You can move a red team player onto the blue team State Cup roster. That does not count as a transfer because it's within the club. It's only when you're leaving a separate club to a new club does the transfer rule come into play. The other thing is there is a freeze date for each age group, which we've already announced and is on the calendar on the MSYSA website. That freeze date is that's your roster for the State Cup competition. You will not be able to make any changes after we get to that freeze date. Up until that point, you can make changes to your roster as much as you want. Just remember that you must have a continuity of 9 players that from your league roster that are on your State Cup roster. That's very important. The other thing is, there was a change this year in the NCS national rules on club carded players for the regionals and for the nationals. It used to be that a club pass player had to be in the club at the time of your state's freeze date. That's no longer true. Now it is 10 days prior to the regional tournament. The only caveat is if that player played on another team for State Cup, if they played on another team for State Cup, they are not eligible to be a club pass player for that team. Okay? The next couple are pretty self-explanatory. Remember, only the players on the approved roster, but not on the game roster, can be on the bench, but not in uniform. So if you have 22 on your team, 18 can be in uniform. The other 4 players can be on the bench, but they cannot be in uniform. The only exception to this, if there is a suspended player can be at the game, but must be on the sideline of the parents, the spectators, not on the team bench. And then the last thing is for play-in games, round of 16, semifinals and finals, there is overtime and then penalty kicks if the games are tied. Now, if we move on, just as a reminder, right now, if we start in February, the freeze date for 15 through 18 would be February 17th. That's an important day, and we'll send out a reminder. That's an important day that your State Cup roster is in the GOT Sports system, and you can make changes up until that day. And again, the instructions on how to create a roster are on the MSYSA website. It's fairly simple. It's not a big deal, but this is an important date. If we move the competition back to start in March or April, then the freeze date will move back to a March or April date. And that concludes pretty much the presentation before we start the draw. Are there any questions? Yeah, I know it is.
Yeah, Brad, this is Valtex here. I got a quick question. Just to
Val.
make sure, so in regards to the not playoffs, the overtime, is it still the same rule that the 11 that finished the overtime are the only players allowed to take PKs, correct?
That is correct. Now, the one thing I want to point out, Val, is that when we start the overtime period, everybody's eligible. So we start kind of like we start in the second half, where you can put your 11 on the field and everybody's eligible to come. But once they leave the overtime, remember there's 2 periods. Once they leave in overtime, they can't come back in. So if they leave the first overtime, they can't come back in the second overtime.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions just about rules or format or anything like that?
Yes, Brad, this is Albert Oni.
Hey, Albert.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
So quick question. So if you wanted to use a player from within the club to play on a team at regionals, say I have, I'm Coppermine and I have a U17 team and a U16 team, and my 17s go to regionals and I'm thin on players because I had an injury. Can I bring someone from the U16 team to regionals, even though their team played in State Cup and lost?
Absolutely. As long as their team's not advancing, absolutely. And again, remembering, Albert, you just have to have 9 from your State Cup roster. That continuity continues into the regional roster. But yeah, you could add younger players onto your team that are not advancing.
Okay, so if both teams are at regionals, you cannot borrow from a player can't play in 2 regional matches with 2 different teams, even though it's the same club.
No.
Okay, got it.
So again, on the club pass, I mean, you can take players from younger, you could take second or third teams within your club. You have a lot of flexibility, but the only issue is, and if you're that successful, hey, more power to you. But if the team advances, you can't use club pass players off of that team. Any other questions? And again,
this is Tom from Brookland FC. We're based out of Washington, D.C., and we're a new club.
Yeah.
What is the lowest age range for a player to play up, let's say for U18 State Cup? Is it still the 2 years?
It's they have to be 14 or older.
14 or older? Okay.
Yep. And that's the national rule, Tom.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. No problem. Good question. Any other questions before we start the draw?
Hey, Brad, Scott Payne from Benfica.
Yeah.
In terms of the fees, with the quarterfinals, if there's for the round robin, is it a $175 for the quarterfinal or $175 per game?
175 per game.
Okay, thanks.
And that basically just cover field fees and staffing, things like that, Scott.
Sure.
Yep. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. So let me talk a little bit about the draw, and we'll get started on that. We're going to do 15 girls and 15 boys, 16 girls, 16 boys as we go. I think a lot of you know, the nice thing here in Maryland is that I am actually also the regional director. So I'm the regional director for the East region. And so it helps us as far as our teams advancing and having that opportunity. So if there's any questions that ever come up regarding not only State Cup, but regionals and nationals, I'm here to help you in any way. When we talk about the draw today, the one kind of weird thing for this year, and it is a national, because I had a couple questions about it, it's a national rule within the NCS, and that has to do with seeding and continuity. So The rule this year is you must have 9 to move from your league roster to state cup to regionals, regionals to nationals. 9 is the continuity. We used to have 51%, but what we decided was we would follow along with the national rule and we would use 9. As far as for seeding is concerned, because we did not have a cup last year and we had no results to base it on, we did want to seed again if teams could fulfill that part of the rule. So basically what we had to do was go back to 2019 during our last competition, compare the state cup roster from that year with the current league roster that is in the God Sports system in order to determine if teams could receive seeds or not. This is not ideal. This is just a one-year thing because we didn't have the competition last year. But what it did was it did cut down on the number of teams that were able to be seeded for this year's event. There's nothing we can do about that. It seems odd. I understand that, but it is within the rules and the only way that we can do it. So as we go through here, I'm going to try to talk about how this works, what teams were seeded, and the fact that they had 9 players or more from 2019. I did get a question from someone that said, well, if we were the state champion in 2019, do we automatically get seeded? The answer is no. By rule, you must have 9 from 2019 to 9 on your roster for this year. So hopefully that kind of explains why we had to do what we had to do. So let's start first with 15 girls. They have 9 teams in their bracket. So every team will need to be seeded. What this means is that seeds number 8 and 9, when we pull them, they will have to play a round of 16 game in February or March. The rest of the teams in this age group will automatically advance to the last weekend in April. So let's go ahead and start. I have all my people here helping me. Robert Perky, Sean Fleming, Nathan Meadows and his son are helping with this. So the first seed in the 15U girls is SAC Girls Pre-Academy, seed number 1. Seed number 2 is MSI White. Seed number 2, MSI White. Seed number 3, Ellicott City Soccer Club, seed 3. Seed number 4 is Coppermine Girls Premier. Seed 4 is Coppermine Girls Premier. Seed number 5 is Baltimore Celtic Elite Scarf. Seed 5, Baltimore Celtic Elite. Seed 6 is Washington Capitol Blue. Seed 6, Washington Capitol Blue. Seed 7 is FCGB Center of Excellence. Seed 7, FCGB Center of Excellence. Seed 8 is Maryland Rush. So Southern Maryland Rush 06, that is seed number 8. Seed number 9 is FC Frederick 06 Girls. So seed 9, FC Frederick 0 Girls. So what that means is that Southern Maryland Rush and FC Frederick will do a round of 16 game. All other teams will advance automatically to the quarterfinal round at the end of April. Okay, let's go to the 15U boys. The 15U boys, they have 21 teams. The only team that is seeded is Potomac Blue. It will be seeded number 1. They were a semifinalist in 2019, but they were the only team in that group that had continuity. So Potomac Blue is the first seed. The second seed in 15 boys is Liverpool FCIA Central. Seed 2, Liverpool FCIA Central. Seed 3, Next Level Olympia White. Seed 3, Olympia, Next Level Olympia White. Seed 4 for U15 boys is Washington Capital United Blue. Seed 4, Washington United Blue. Seed 5 is Baltimore Union pre-ECNL. Seed 5, Baltimore Union pre-ECNL. Seed 6, Aspen Hill Soccer Club Elite. Seed 6, Aspen Hill Soccer Club Elite. Seed 7 is Tacoma Juventus. Again, seed 7, Tacoma Juventus. Seed 8 is Barcelona USA Western. That's Barcelona USA Western. I know they have 2 teams in that age group. Seed 9 is FC Frederick. FC Frederick is seed 9. Seed 10, DC Stoddard Blue Metros. Seed 10, DC Stoddard Blue Metros. Seed 11 is FC USA. FC USA is seed 11. Seed 12 is Brazza Blue. Seed 12 is Brazza Blue from Brazza United. Seed 13 is Brazza Boys Yellow. Seed 13, Brazza Boys Yellow. Seed number 13. Seed 14 is Pipeline pre-ECNL. Seed 14, Pipeline Boys pre-ECNL. Seed 15 is SAC Boys pre-Academy. Seed 15 is SAC Boys pre-Academy. Seed 16 is Barcelona USA, the other Barcelona team out of there. So that's seed number 16. Seed number 17 is Paragon Football Academy. Seed 17, Paragon Football Academy. Seed 18 is PPA Green Boys. Seed 18, Player Progression Academy Green Boys, seed number 18. Seed 19 is Bethesda Blue. Seed 19 is Bethesda Blue. Seed 20 is Next Level Ajax Boys White. Seed 20, Next Level Ajax Boys White. And seed 21 is Ellicott City Boys Black. Seed 21, Ellicott City Boys Black. Now, we will have these brackets up on Tuesday. So I know you're trying to write them down. I'm trying to say them slow. So if you write them down on a piece of paper. So what does this mean? It means that there would be 5 games in the play-in round. So seeds 12 through 21 would play in the play-in round. Seeds 1 through 11 would automatically advance to the round of 16 in the boys 15U. Okay, any questions? Okay, we're going to go now to the girls 16U. There are, originally they said there were 14. Any questions? Okay. Originally, we said there were 14 teams. We did have a team drop out. So there are actually 13 teams in the 16 girls. And again, there are no seeded teams back from 2019. So starting with the first seed. The first seed is Montgomery Soccer Black Caps. First seed is MSI Black Caps. Second seed is Maryland Rush. Second seed is Maryland Rush. Third seed is DC Blue Metros, DC Stoddard Blue Metros, third seed. Fourth seed is SAC Girls Pre-Academy. Number 4 seed is SAC Girls Pre-Academy. Fifth seed is Montgomery Soccer White Warriors. That's seed number 5 is MSI White Warriors. Seed 6, Maryland Rush, Southern Maryland. Southern Maryland Rush 05 is seed number 6. Seed 7 is Coppermine HFC United. That's Hartford United, Coppermine. 05 girls are seed number 7 in the 16U girls. Seed number 8 is Potomac Blue. Seed 8 is Potomac Blue in the 16 girls. Seed 9 is A3 Soccer, Manchester City. Seed 9, Manchester City, A3 Soccer. Seed number 10, Bethesda Blue. Seed 10 is Bethesda Blue. Seed number 11 is FC Frederick. FC Frederick is seed number 11. Seed 12 is Coppermine Girls Premier. Seed number 12 is Coppermine Girls 2005 Premier. Okay. What, did I miss one? Oh, okay, so maybe there's only 12 teams. Hold on, let me look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yes, there's only 12 teams, I'm sorry, in this age group, geez. So those are the seeds for the 16 girls. So what that means is there are no play-in girls games for that age group. So seed 5 through seed 12 will play in a round of 16 game. That's seed 5 through seed 12 will play in a round of 16 game. Seeds 1 through 4 automatically advance to the quarterfinal round robin weekend in the last weekend in April. Any questions? 16 girls, sorry about that. Okay, let's go to 16 boys. There are 22 teams in the 16 boys. For this age group, there were 2 teams that had continuity as far as from 2019. So the first seed for the 16 boys is Bethesda Blue. The second seed for 16U boys is Washington Capitol Blue. So those 2 teams are seeded. So we will start with seed number 3. So 16 boys, seed 3 is Liverpool FCIA Central. Seed 3, Liverpool FCIA Central. Seed 4, FC Frederick, 05 boys. Seed 4, FC Frederick, 05 boys. Someone just asked in the chat, are these listed anywhere? They will be up on the website starting on Tuesday, as far as what we're saying now. But again, I think a lot of people are probably writing these down as we go, if it's your age group. That's why I'm trying to go fairly slow. Team number 5, seed number 5. Next Level Soccer, Ajax White. Seed 5, Next Level, Ajax White, seed 5. Seed 6, Benfica Academy Premier. Seed 6, 16-year-old boys, Benfica Academy Premier, seed 6. Seed 7, Ellicott City Boys Black. Seed 7, U16 boys, Ellicott City Boys Black. Seed 8 is Potomac Blue. Seed 8, Potomac Blue. Seed 9, Brasa Blue. Seed 9, Brasa United Boys Blue. Seed 9. Seed 10, Go Premier Soccer. Seed 10, 16-year-old boys, Go Premier Soccer. Seed 11, Pipeline Boys North. Seed 11, Pipeline Boys North. Seed 12, Bowie Stampede. Seed 12 is Bowie, BYSA, Bowie 05 Stampede. Seed 13 is Alliance Warriors Premier. Seed 13, Alliance Warriors Premier. Seed 14 is SAC Boys Pre-Academy. Seed 14, SAC Boys Pre-Academy. Seed 15 is FC USA Blue. Seed 15, FC USA Blue.
Okay.
Boys 16 is Thunder PSG. Again, seed 16, Thunder PSG of Howard County. Seed 17 is SAC Pre-Academy White. Seed 17, SAC Pre-Academy White. Seed 18, NPC Football and Futsal. So seed 18, NPC Football and Futsal. Seed 19, Aspen Hill Club Elite. Seed 19, Aspen Hill Club Elite. Seed 20, Maryland Rush Montgomery Blue. Seed 20, Maryland Rush Montgomery Blue. Seed 21, Player Progression Academy Green. Seed 21, PPA Green. And seed 22 is DC Stoddard Blue Metros. Seed 22 is DC Stoddard Blue Metros. So for the 16 boys, seeds number 11 through 22, if you were seeded 11 through 22, you will have a play-in game. Seeds 1 through 10, you advance to the round of 16 automatically. So any questions on the 16U boys? Okay. 17 girls. There are 7 teams here, so all 7 teams advance to the quarterfinal weekend, the last weekend in April. So they will not have any games in February or March. In the 17 girls, there are 2 teams that have continuity and are seeded. The first seed is Online FC Blitz Black. They will be the first seed. The second seed will be FC Frederick. So again, that's Online FC Blitz Black, seed 1. FC Frederick is seed 2. So we'll start with the third seed in the 17 girls. Third seed is Baltimore Celtic Elite Scott. So third seed, Baltimore Celtic Elite Scott. Fourth seed is Maryland Rush Montgomery White Cosmos. Fourth seed, Maryland Rush Montgomery White Cosmos. Fifth seed is Liverpool FCIA Central International Academy. Fifth seed, Liverpool FCIA Central. Sixth seed is Maryland Rush Montgomery Blue Rain. Sixth seed, Maryland Rush Montgomery Blue Rain. And seventh seed is Coppermine SC Girls Premier. Seventh seed, Coppermine SC Girls Premier. So what will happen here is that seeds 1, 4, and 5 will be in a round robin group of 3, and the top 2 teams will advance from there. Seeds 2, 3, 6, and 7 will be in a round robin group of 4, and those 2 of those teams will then advance to the semifinals. And again, That will be the last weekend in April. Any questions about the 17 girls? Okay, 17 boys, we're almost done. 17 boys, they have 23 teams. That's our largest group so far for State Cup. In the 17 boys, we have 2 teams that have continuity and are to be seeded. The first seed will be Brazza Blue. So 17 boys, seed 1 is Brazza Blue. Second seed in 17 boys is Potomac Blue. So second seed, Potomac Blue in 17 boys. So we start with the third seed. The third seed is FC USA Blue. Third seed, FC USA Blue. Fourth seed is Go Premier Soccer Blue. Fourth seed, Go Premier Soccer Blue. Fifth seed, FC Frederick. Fifth seed, FC Frederick. Sixth seed is Pachuca Dragons. Sixth seed, Pachuca FC Dragons. Seventh seed, Bethesda Blue. Seventh seed, Bethesda Blue in 17 boys. Eighth seed, DC Stoddard Blue Metros. Eighth seed, DC Stoddard Blue Metros. Ninth seed is ASA PGSA Real Barza. So again, ninth seed, ASA PGSA Real Barza. 10th seed, SAC Premier Blue. 10th seed is SAC Premier Blue. 11th seed is Freedom Flash Red. 11th seed, Freedom Flash Red. 12th seed, Ellicott City Boys Black. 12th seed, Ellicott City Boys Black. 13th seed, Coppermine Boys Premier. 13th seed, Coppermine Boys Premier. 14th seed is St. Mary's Soccer United Premier. 14th seed, St. Mary's United Premier. 15th seed, DCY FC Athletic Youth Football Club. 15th seed, DC Youth Football Club Athletic. 15th seed. 16th seed, Olney Rangers Blue. 16th seed, Olney Rangers Blue. 17th seed, Sac Boys Pre-Academy. 17th seed is Sac Boys Pre-Academy. 18th seed is Bowie Youth Academy Elite. 18th seed, Bowie Youth Soccer Academy. 19th seed is Paragon Football Academy Red. That would be 19th seed, Paragon Football Academy Red. Thank you. 20th seed is Laurel Lions.
Yes.
20th seed, Laurel Lions. 21 seed, Next Level Ajax White. 21, Next Level Ajax White. 22, Tacoma Lions. Tacoma Park Lions Soccer Club is number 22. And number 23 is Baltimore Union Pre-ECNL. 23, Baltimore Union Pre-ECNL. I feel like I'm announcing the teams for the NCAA tournament. So again, in the 17 boys, seeds number 10 through 23 will have to do what will be in a play-in game. Seeds 10 through 23. Seeds 1 through 9 will automatically advance to the round of 16. Any questions? Okay. Last and certainly not least is the 18U girls. In the 18U girls, we have 9 teams. 3 are seeded from continuity. The first seed is OPSA Magic, first seed. Second seed is FC Frederick. Third seed is St. Mary's Power. Again, OPSA Magic, first seed. FC Frederick, second seed. St. Mary Power, third seed. So we start with a 4th seed, which is Potomac Blue. Potomac Blue is 4th seed. 5th seed is FCGB Center of Excellence. 5th seed, FCGB Center of Excellence. 6th seed, Baltimore Union Pre-Academy. 6th seed, Baltimore Union Pre-Academy. 7th seed is Maryland Rush Montgomery Blue Rampage. 7th seed, Maryland Rush Montgomery Blue Rampage. 8th seed, Washington Capital United Blue. 8th seed, Washington Capital United Blue. And 9th seed is Potomac Black. So in this age group, Washington Capital will play Potomac Black in a round of 16 game. The seeds 1 through 7, the remaining seeds, will automatically advance to the quarterfinal round robin the last weekend in April. Okay, lastly, 18 boys. They have 19 teams. So they have 3 seeded teams from 2019. Bethesda Blue is seed number 1. Baltimore Celtic Premier is seed number 2. And HPSC Wolverines are seed number 3. So we have 3 seeds again. Bethesda Blue 1, Baltimore Celtic Premier 2, HPSC Wolverines 3. So let's go now to 18 boys. 4th seed, Sac Boys Pre-Academy. 4th, Sac Boys Pre-Academy. 5th seed, Soccer Dome Real Barza. 5th seed, Soccer Dome Real Barza. 6th seed, Potomac Blue. 6th seed, Potomac Soccer Association Blue. 7th seed, Braza Boys Blue. 7th seed, Braza Boys Blue. 8th seed, Go Premier Soccer Blue. 8th seed, boys, Go Premier Soccer Blue. U18 boys. 9th seed, Brooklyn FC Boys, a new team to our state cup. So 9th seed, Brooklyn FC. 10th seed, Baltimore Bays. Seed number 10, Baltimore Bays. Seed 11, FC USA Blue. Seed 11, FC USA Blue. Seed 12, Laurel Lions White. Seed 12, Laurel Lions White. Seed 13, Washington Capital United Blue. Seed 13, Washington Capital United Blue. Seed 14, Baltimore Union Pre-ECNL. Seed 14, Baltimore Union Pre-ECNL. Seed 15, Pipeline Black West. Seed 15, Pipeline Soccer Club Black West. Seed 16, Next Level Ajax. Seed 16, Next Level Ajax. Seed 17, Future Monarchs U18. Seed 17, Future Monarchs. Seed 18, Paragon Boys. Seed 18, Paragon Boys. And seed 19 is FC Frederick. Seed 19, FC Frederick. So in the U18 boys, seeds 14 through 19 will play a play-in game. Seed 14 through 19. Seeds 1 through 13 will automatically advance to the round of 16. As I said before, we'll have these up on the website by Tuesday. Are there any questions now that we've completed the draw? Anything I can help you with at all?
Quarterfinal weekend is last week of April.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yes, Brad, this is
Yeah.
Ken.
Yeah.
Just to, in terms of the seeding, so the round of 16, the first seed plays the 16th or 8th seed? How does it go?
Okay, so tell me, what seed are you?
like we are, well, are you 15s with 6th seed?
Okay.
And are we playing FC USA? Looks like in the round.
Well,
of
no,
16?
you're gonna play a game, a winner of a play-in game. So seed 6. Let me think this through for a second. Seed 6. Hold on, give me a tip. You're gonna play seed 11. So 6 is gonna play 11,
Okay.
definitely in the round of 16.
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Julia asked about the 16 girls. I'm happy to read those again real quick since it's short.
That's okay, Brad. Someone sent them to me.
Oh, you got them, Julia?
Yeah, can you just tell me who number 5 would play?
What age group again?
It's good. U16.
Okay, field 5 would play the winner of the game of game 10 and 11. So
Okay,
you would play the winner of a play-in game.
great. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. And you advance if you're seed 5, Julie. You would play a what seed are you again? Are you 5?
5. It's only 12 in there. You originally had 14.
Yeah. So you're going to play seed 10 in the round of 16.
Okay.
Okay.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Okay, listen, thank you for coming on today. You can email me or call me. If you have any other questions or anything comes up, I will stay in touch with you and let you know. Right now, if you are playing, I think Ryan James wrote here, February 6th and 7th, I thought the Club Champions League College Showcase was the following weekend, the weekend of the 13th and 14th. I think you need to check that, okay? Because I tried to work around that weekend. So Ryan, you may want to check on that, but I think that's correct.
Club.
Hey, Brad.
On the 29th, it's on the 29th and 30th.
Well, no, there's a second one.
Hey, Brad. This is Ryan James. The premiership is the weekend before, but February 6th and 7th are the dates of the CCL Championship College Showcase weekend. So it is that weekend.
Okay. Just then fill out a scheduling consideration form, and I'll have to see what I can do.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I'll contact the other team and see if we have to play the following weekend.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Any other questions? Okay, thanks again. It was you guys did a great job. Appreciate you being on it. Like I said, again, we're here for you, so if we can do anything to help, just let us know. Thanks, and have a great rest of your weekend. Oh, real quick, again, I lost my thought. Right now, if you're a boys team and you have a play-in game, you need to plan to play February 6th and 7th. If you have in the girls, if you have a round of 16 game and the girls are boys, you need to start planning on playing February 20th and 21st. I do think it's going to be moved back, but that's how you have to do your planning with your team. So I would probably send out an email immediately to your team to let them know if these 2 dates are possibilities. If they get changed to later, that's fine. But again, I think I would try to communicate with them as soon as possible. Thanks. Have a great day. I want to thank everyone here in the office for helping, and we'll see you out on the field.